And then what else they sign? And they're going to get their own Hulk game now? Yeah, it seems like Disney is just like, yeah, we'll just start licensing stuff out. You guys do the work.
Right?
Why
Make
not?
more Spider-Mans. Print us that money.
It's cool to see Lucas, well, I guess Disney now, but like using the banner, with Lucasfilms, Lucasfilm to do other stuff than just Star Wars. It's like, all right, they're working on a new Willow movie or TV show, I believe. Like they're now they're doing Indiana Jones related stuff. Like that's cool to see that it's not just, hey guys, we have all this stuff, but we're only caring about Star Wars. Like they purchased all this stuff. It's good to see that Indiana Jones at least has some. I guess we'll see how well it sells and how good it actually is, but it has some pull at least currently, all these years later.
So they mentioned in that question that we got to start it with about Rogue Squadron, because at this time, we see some companies showing up. EA is going to still license Star Wars from Disney. That's still going to go along like normal, I think. Ubisoft showing up. We see Microsoft Bethesda showing up. Do you think Nintendo shows up? Because they asked about Rogue Squadron now in that question. Do we get that third Rogue Squadron finally?
Well, how much of that was Nintendo? How much of that was Factor 5?
That's a good question. It was for the Wii, right?
Yeah, Factor 5 was the developer. Nintendo, were they the publisher of those games even? I'm not sure. I think it was LucasArts, right?
Yeah, I don't know that Nintendo really had anything to do anything.
Yeah, Nintendo may have no say in that whatsoever. And if Factor 5 still owns those games, Factor 5 would have to then approach Disney or Lucas and say, we'd like to redistribute these games. All Nintendo could do is say, hey, Factor 5, you guys want to make a phone call?
Yeah.
So it was split. It seems like Nintendo did publish it like in Europe or something like that, like Rogue Squadron, like the N64 and stuff. And then some places it was LucasArts. So almost like maybe like a Monster Hunter type of situation sometimes, like where Nintendo might publish it in some countries.
Yeah, they pick up that bill for distribution and stuff in other regions. Yeah, so Nintendo wouldn't have much say in where those games go. It'd have to be a Factor 5 decision made with Disney, and then they'd have to move forward.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah, it looks like Nintendo like approached Factor 5 and some others to do it for the GameCube.
It'd be smart to do because we know they were working on the trilogy for the Wii, so they do have that base done, and if they could HD it, but Factor 5 is also a shell of a company now.
Well, think about how we got Ultimate Alliance 3. That's still just on the Switch. And they obviously licensed that through Marvel or Disney.
True.
Couldn't they just do something like that with Rogue Squadron if they can get the people together to make it?
Like a whole different development studio to make the game.
Yeah, Factor 5 is, how much of Factor 5 is still Factor 5? Like, I feel like
they only got 5 people working there right now.
Yeah, 5 people working for it. And I think they were part of the Turrican collection that's coming out in, a month or two?
Yeah.
So if they own the rights to those games, you'd still have to go through them, and they're probably not going to license the projects that they work so passionately on. So they'd have to be involved. They'd have to hire an external port studio to handle it. It'd be a lot of moving pieces. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but you'd probably need Nintendo to come in and say, we'll foot the bill.
I would think so, yeah.
Layer, by the way. The last game was Layer on the PlayStation 3 in 2000.
Good times.
Oh, wow. It's been a bit then.
Good old Lair.
Good old Lair.
That game when that game got patched, it was good.
But you know what's funny?
You could finally fly the dragon without gyro.
I don't know. Grub's saying they made the Hulu app for the Switch.
But to bring everything full circle, one of Factor 5's games was Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine on the N64.
Oh my God. The Illuminati confirmed. It's all coming together.
Hey, that's weird. That's a good game, though. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, it says on their canceled game that the Rogue Leaders on the Wii was completed, but it was unreleased.
Yeah, the game was I think it was like 95% complete.
Do you need them then to finish it?
Well, all we need is that Factor 5%, and then we're good to go, right?
Or do you need I guess could you find who was leading the project at the time, bring them in, have them work with, maybe even retro finish it?
I guess the biggest challenge would be to HD all those assets, because remember, GameCube to Wii was still SD. So not to HD that entire thing.
No,
again.
but there was the interview. Remember a little while? Oh, I have to go find it. I feel like it was with IGN It was on a podcast they had, and the person from Factor 5 said that they had already put everything in HD. Like it sounded like a lot of the ships and stuff in the game were already like ready to go for HD, like beyond what the Wii could do.
Then it should be doable. It's just, I guess it's literally just going to be a question of, can Factor 5 find the funding or a publisher to help them do it if Disney doesn't want to do it themselves?
Yeah, that's why I was thinking Nintendo maybe does something with that, or they just go get the first 2 Rogue Squadrons or the 3 of them, right, and bring them over and put them in a collection for the Switch.
Yeah, there was like 64 and 2 on GameCube.
Yeah,
I mean, Nintendo should do it. It has nostalgia value.
Yeah, I mean, it's something they could do. I'm trying to think of anything else that like Nintendo could come in and talk to. Like
Shadows of the Empire remastered. Come on.
Shadows on Switch.
Empire. But the thing with Shadows of the Empire, that could have already happened because we've been having like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy get ported around.
No, not the little HD texture bullshit. That's a game that you would need to build.
I mean, do you really?
From the ground up. Yes.
No, well, I agree.
I mean, you could, but it would still sell otherwise. So
I feel like you just put it out for $10 and call it.
No, I think that's a game that part of the appeal of it was you're playing and doing different things in the Star Wars universe. You want that to look good. You don't want it to just be like, oh, look, here's a little tiny cardboard box of the building.
I want to see a cardboard, but I like Metal Gear Solid. There's
I was gonna say PUBG on when it launched on Xbox One, and you'd parachute down, and everything was made out of clay because it couldn't load textures.
The controls back in the day when you had one analog stick on the N64 for first-person shooters was just, oh man, that was not great.
Suck it up, John.
One's all you need.
Can we see? Maybe we can get KOTOR 3 to happen too. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities out there now.
Speaking of,
they've been exploring that IP for a while. Knights of the Old Republic.
KOTOR, like a remake of KOTOR 1, that would be good enough for me. Just remake it and add some extra stuff in there. That would be good enough for me.
You know what I'm thinking? So now the license is getting spread around. Do you think there's also, because Nate, you're just mentioning, they've been exploring that idea, KOTOR 3, right? But now if it's open more to other studios and developers to come in, do you think then EA's like, maybe we should do that? Maybe we should actually tell them we're doing that so that someone else doesn't come in and say, hey, can we do KOTOR?
Wait a minute. It's a single player game though.
Oh, because hey, they did Fallen Order. Everyone thought it was gonna be multiplayer. That'd be loot boxes.
I'm sorry, I know EA bought Respawn, but I don't consider Respawn part of EA. I don't care what anybody says. I don't consider them EA. I consider them something else. So I don't. They don't get credit for that. Sorry.
The best part of that situation is the game came out and people still wouldn't believe it that there were no loot boxes or anything. Like I'd tell them, be like, no, nothing's in there. Like I don't believe it. Like,
there was a Kotaku article. There was a Kotaku article explaining that there were no loot boxes. Like, yep, we checked every menu. There's not one in there.
But the thing about that game, it's like it's so un-EA. It's not using Frostbite. It's Unreal Engine. Like it doesn't have the loot box. It's hard for me to. I know it's EA. They made
good decisions with that game.
They did make good decisions, but I just don't consider them because it's just like a subsidiary. They purchased them, and I get it, but I mean I don't know if EA. I only trust Respawn out of EA. Like that's the only people that I would somewhat even trust at all. Yeah, and only because John bought me the game, and only because of John bought me.
It sold well too overall. Like Fallen Order did actually pretty well overall for
him. Yeah, it did extremely well.
Fallen Order 2 coming up.
I still didn't believe it, even after you guys were playing. I was watching you guys' reviews. I was like, and then John bought it for me for Christmas or Christmas present. I was like, okay, it actually was what they were saying. I still didn't believe it. I don't trust you yet.
I'm excited to see where the future for Star Wars is going forward. See who else jumps in and tries to make any games with them.